Life shouldn't be hard. Life should be a fun-filled adventure every day. So now start joining up dots. Tap into your talents, your skills, your God-given gifts, and tell your boss, you don't deserve me. I'm out of here. It's time for you to smash that alarm clock and start getting the dream business and life you, well, of course, are dreaming of. Let's join your host, David Ralph, from the back of his garden in the UK, or wherever he might be today, with another jammed-packed episode of the #1 hit podcast, Join Up Dots.
Yeah, good morning to you, chums. Good morning to you, and welcome to the Join Up Dots podcast. Hopefully you are full of beans and energized, and hopefully you're not running yourself ragged, because life doesn't have to be that way. And as we talk to you constantly on Join Up Dots over the last 10, 11, 12, 100,000 years, whatever it's been, life is there for you to create, and life is there for you to create in the simplest way possible, so it becomes the life that you want and you're not doing it for anybody else. And so today, I want to talk about something that's been swirling around in my mind for a while. And it's one of those topics where the more I see other people, the more obvious it becomes. And the more obvious it becomes, the more I think I'm on the right track here. And why the hell did nobody tell us this earlier? It's an idea called, I'm going to call it in this one, the wealth filter. And don't worry, it's not going to be all business speech. It's just it's simple, it's human, and it's probably the one thing standing between where you are now and the wealth you actually want in your life. Now, if you look at the world, across the world, most people are absolutely drowning in advice, financial noise, influencers and people telling them what to do. And it's not their fault, because you might be the same. You wake up, you scroll for a few seconds, and suddenly you're being told to start a crypto portfolio or build a personal brand or invest in property, buy gold, automate your income streams. You got to learn about AI. You need AI straight. Well, and all that kind of stuff. It's insane. And it's like the world has decided to turn the volume up to 11 in a sort of Spinal Tap way on everything at all. And inside that chaos, there's some really good people and normal people that are trying to make their lives better, and they just end up feeling completely overwhelmed. And it's not surprising, because they don't know what's real. They don't know what fits them, what's right for them, and they don't know what actually matters to make a difference. So they do what I used to do, and they grab a bit of everything and then wonder why nothing is changing their life. And this is about the wealth filter. They haven't got a wealth filter. And what the wealth filter is the idea that before any of this information hits your brain, there needs to be somebody standing guard at the door saying, hang on, this is interesting, but does this actually help me get where I want to go, or is this just more noise? Because without that filter, you just let everything in. And once everything gets in, nothing makes sense anymore, and you just end up spinning loads of plates. And this was me years ago when I first started trying to figure out how to build something online. I was really, really motivated, and I was, buzzing with the possibilities. And like most people, I thought the right thing to do was to listen to everyone else who looked like they knew what they were doing. So I did. And I gorged on advice, everywhere. I was buying courses, listening to videos, articles, books. This was before podcasts, really. And whatever was out there, I consumed it. And one night, I suddenly realised I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I had all these tabs open all over the place. And I just realised that something had to change. And it wasn't a big revelation, but I closed the laptop, I walked into the kitchen, I grabbed a bicky and a cup of tea, because you got to make all big decisions on a biscuit and a cup of tea. And I just thought, I can't do all this. I can't really understand half of it, and I don't even like people telling me to do it. And I realised that I was just drowning in advice but going absolutely nowhere. And that's when my wealth filter was born. And I didn't call it that at the time, and I haven't really called it that until this podcast episode when I was thinking of what can I call it. But I just knew I needed to stop listening to everything and start listening to myself, and that's one of the biggest issues in the world right now. People don't know the difference between their own thoughts and the noise of everyone else. Their identity just gets drowned out and their instincts get drowned out. And you cannot build wealth if you can't hear and know yourself, because you've got to know what your life is going to be. You've got to be absolutely 100% focused on it. And I was at the beginning, and then I lost track of it. And now I'm 1,000% focused on how I want my life is, because the stuff online, all that advice isn't designed to make you wealthy. I'm going to say that again. The stuff that you see online isn't designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to keep you watching, because the longer you watch, the more money they make. So the advice has to get more dramatic and louder, and it has to shock you and make you think you're missing out on something, and you're never going to get this secret world that's waiting for you unless you've got this one thing. But the truth is, the real truth rarely goes viral, because it's not sexy. The truth is, in your life, in your business, you have to have simplicity. That's not going to go viral. You have to have consistency. Same again. Patience, focus, all these things are the things that will make you wealthy. The quiet things, the boring things, the things that don't look impressive on social media. The wealth and real wealth begins the moment you remove everything that doesn't matter. Okay? And I've done that more than anybody else. If you look at how I run Join Up Dots, I record podcast episodes and I basically write books now. And that's it. And the advertising comes in and the income comes in and the books are getting produced. Nothing else occurs in Join Up Dots. It's a really, really quiet life, because what I realized was I already had income streams that were working. So I just needed to get rid of everything else and focus in on those income streams and develop them more. That's why with the books, they already bring me money in each month. They are very lucrative, so I'm just replicating them into other foreign languages. And my aim is for each of them to have 100 versions. And it's going to take me a while, but it doesn't matter. And that's the point. It's the patience, it's the focus, it's the 80-20. The 20% of your efforts will bring 80% of the rewards, and all the rest of it doesn't matter. It's not the strategy that matters. It's whether the strategy fits you, because I could give 10 people the same blueprint to how I have created the life that I've created, and they get 10 different results, because personality plays a bigger role in wealth than people realize. If you hate being on camera, you're not going to stick with a YouTube business. If you hate sales calls, coaching will feel like a nightmare for you. If you love being outside, you're not going to enjoy sitting at a desk all day building software. Your filter protects you from building a life that's successful on paper, but miserable in practice, okay? And you've just got to strip it back. You don't build wealth by adding more. You build wealth by knowing what's already producing that wealth and amplifying it. You build wealth by subtracting. People don't get stuck because they lack ambition. They get stuck because they lack focus, because they're trying to be 10 different people at once, because the world has convinced them that the solution is more tools, more strategies, more hacks, more effort. But wealth isn't built in more. It's built in less. Now, I know that's going to go contra to most what people think. But if you think about Steve Jobs, for example, when he got back into Apple, he started Apple, lost Apple, got back into it. He realised that they had too many things on the go, so he got rid of 99% of them and just focused on the ones that he thought would make a difference. Okay, if you look at Elon Musk, he just focuses in on the things. Warren Buffett's a classic example. He sits in his office and he rarely makes an investment, a trade or anything. He has his strategy and he just sits there and reads. So imagine that for a moment. You've got this idea and you've taken every idea that you've ever had, every side hustle, every business, every plan, and instead of bouncing between them, you just picked one and you stuck with it for 2 years. Where would you be? Well, you'd be further along, wouldn't you? You might have an audience, you might have customers, you'd have passive income or momentum or whatever, but you will definitely be better off than jumping between things and never get really going. And that's the power of filtering, choosing and committing, because you can't win at everything, but you can win at something, and you can win big if you stop trying to chase every shiny thing that wanders across your screen. I promise you, I'm getting wealthier and wealthier, and my work is going less and less and less. And it's a very simple, it's not even a strategy, it's just a very simple life that I've got rid of all the noise and I just focus in on the things that make a difference. And that is how you can do it. So all you got to do is just think, any idea that comes through, does this match who I am? And does this fit the life that I really want? And does this move me towards my definition of wealth? Okay. And how can I make it more and more simple? And if the answers aren't conclusive, then get rid of them. And the answer is yes, then just allow it to come in, because real wealth starts on the day the noise stops. I'll leave you with that. That's where we're going to leave things today. So if this episode has made you think, if you're rushing around trying to do loads and loads of things and all these different side hustles and stuff, then your wealth filter is clogged, or it might even be non-existent. You might be bombarded by people's advice and you're trying to do this and you just have to do one thing and do it really, really well. So if that's got you thinking, then drop us a line at joinupdots@gmail.com and share it with other people in the office or whatever, see what they think about it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Join Up Dots and leave a review. Very, very few people do, but it helps us so much. Only takes seconds, but it really, really makes a difference. So think about it. Your wealth filter. Are you letting too many ideas in, or are you choosing just one and making it work for you? Because less is more. You become wealthy by doing the right thing and not everything. Until next time, we will see you again. You look after yourselves. Cheers. See ya. Bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. And we'll be back again real soon. Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots. Join up,